Hi. I know I've been telling y'all that I got my rear fender in, and I've been so busy out filming content that I hadn't had time to put it on. Well, today I'm gonna have you guys watch me put my rear fender on. Here's the rear fender I ordered online. You can get it from any Terra Trike dealer, or you can order it from Whiz Wheels. This one was kind of hard to find. Everybody was out of stock. Just do your shopping online and see what you can find. You need to make sure you order it rear for 20-inch. They make them in 24. They make you one in a 26. So you can get front fenders and rear fenders. This morning I needed my fenders. When I filmed Pinos Altos this week, earlier in the week, I needed my fenders. I was out in rain. If you don't have fenders, you're going to be throwing water up on you, especially off the rear tire, because it's going to spin up and hit you up over the top of the back of your head. Personally, I like the bob look without fenders. I like the way it looks. But for practicality, this morning when I left, it wasn't raining. By the time I came back, it was starting to rain. I needed my fenders, and I was glad I had them. One thing you're going to need if you work on your own trike is a stand. I made this one out of wood. It simply goes under the rear trailing arm to on the rear of the bike, and it fits up on the frame and keeps the rear tire off the ground. Why would you need this? Well, you'll need it to tune your derailleur, to clean your chain, to remove the rear rim and hub assembly off the bike. You'll need the rear end up off the ground so you can get everything off. You can buy them, but I made this one out of a few wooden components. I'll show you what I cut this down from to make it look like this. I just went down and sourced some old pallets. I build rustic furniture, and I use the oak and stuff off old pallets to help me. Yes, I wear a respirator because I know some chemicals and stuff are on here. But I was sourcing this piece right here where the forklift drives in. That makes a good wooden component to build your stand. This is the piece that I use. I cut out with the Sawzall, cut the nails off. I don't remove them, I just cut them off. And this is the piece I go after. So you can see how I cut it down from here, cut it here to here, and the other spot down on the bottom to make my stand. I'm getting ready to sand this stand down and to get all the sharp edges off. I've already used it to make sure it would work. I measured the distance to the top right here. This is the top, or excuse me, this is the top. So my frame sits here. This gives me room for the chain to run through. I made sure it worked. It does. You have to measure from the ground and make sure it's lifted above so your tire's off the ground an inch or so. Don't want to make it too far up, but I'm going to sand this down now to get all the sharps off of it and the splinters and use it for my stand. So now that we got the everything sanded down, it came out nice. You get all these splinters off. I'm gonna paint this. You could polyurethane it would work. You want to seal the wood because you're going to get oil and stuff on this, or if you like oil on your wood, then go ahead and leave it on there. Anyway, that's a stand. One thing that I like is this work light that I got. It's USB rechargeable. Nice. It's a nice little work light. Get this flag out of the way so you can see. Plug in the instructions. This is the stay kit that holds the fender up. It looks to me like this is the same stay kit that goes on the front of the trike, because you won't need the, they look like they're universal to me. Front and rear. Slight differences, maybe. We'll figure that out together. Here's the instructions. Tells you how to do it. Tells you what tools you need. If you buy a trike, I just ordered all the kit. You just tell Terra Trike at Whiz Wheels, I want all the tools for my bike or my trike. I need whatever I need. And when I say all the tools, the ones you'll need on the roadside. It's not going to come with everything you ever need, but I use these tools a lot. I like them. I carry them right here in my bag underneath behind my saddle. And this is unique to the rear. This is how it's going to bolt down to the frame down there. It's another attachment point. So it'll have 3 points of attachment. Cool. Now, what you need to know before you order this is the Luck Fender set. And it's only for, it's compatible with all Terra Trike models except the Whiz Wheels 3.5 or older. I don't know what that means. So what you do is you call Whiz Wheels up and say, hey, I've got a 2024 or 2025 Terra Trike Charge or a Rambler or an all-terrain, whatever you got, and say, I want fenders, and they'll tell you which ones you need. It's that simple. Says here, gives you all the parts you have that came with it. It says if you're not familiar with removing and reinstalling your rear wheel, visit your local bike or trike shop for installation. I'm going to give it a shot. First thing it tells you to do is identify all your parts. So what I'm going to use is the box that it came in over here. I'm going to keep all my parts in here. I'm going to lay them out and make sure I have everything before I start. Okay, it looks like I've got all my parts all laid out. Says everything right there, what I need, it's all there. So now I got to start building the stays. The stays is what they call these. Fender stays. So I'm going to start that now. I'm on B now. Step 2. On these stays, one side is smooth and the other side has ribs on it. This side has ribs and one side is smooth. It doesn't tell you which way to do it. So you've got to decide, because there's these brackets, they lean a little bit. So pick which way you want to do it and keep them all the same. I'm going to put the ribs to the part that's leaning in. These little screws that go in the stays have Loctite already on them. You do not want to over tighten these because everything here is aluminum. You just watch your gap on the screw head, and when it bottoms out just about a quarter of a turn, and you can see the screw comes out the back side. Do this a little more. After you put these on and ride it for a while, you want to go back and check these later because these are aluminum and they are compressing, so things tend to loosen up after a while. On a bike, you always want to check everything. Okay, now we're moving on to step 2, or no, step 3. It's kind of weird. It says 1, that's step 2. 2, this is really step 3. Anyway, figure it out. Remove rover only. Remove rear wheel, install the rear fender using the blah, blah, blah. So here's what I think. I think this is the same frame as the Rover. It doesn't say anything about my Charge. So what I'm going to do is to try to figure out if I can do this without removing the rear wheel. I think I've got to put a bracket up in here to hold it. So let me figure this out for you for the Charge, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to try to do step 2. You're going to have to use an Allen wrench right here. This bolt has to come out. Dang, that's a long bolt. All right, I'm going to try. They don't tell you what the difference in the instructions about a charge. If I recollect right, the charge is the same as the Rambler and the same frame. So I'm going to try this. So I installed this long stay like on the Rambler and used that bolt to get it in there. I didn't have to pull off the rear tire yet, but we'll see. This is I don't like it, but anyway, we'll see. I want to tighten these up right here. These are the stay brackets. They go on the outside of the frame, bolted in with a washer. This bracket's stamped 20 for a 20-inch tire. That 20 is on the inside because this bracket is leaning towards the tire. If you turn this around, it's going to be leaning out, so that won't work. You want to put this on correct. So on mine, the 20 stamped is in towards the sprocket on both sides. It's facing this way. One of these little screws with the Loctite on it has to go in here to hold the stay to the top of the fender. And you don't want to over tighten these, but you can see that this aluminum, extruded aluminum, is going to compress. The bolt's going to go all the way through and out the back. It's easily stripped, so I use this T-tool. Don't turn it from out here on the edges, turn it from the center and simply tighten it until it takes some of this out. Some of the compression from this. It's going to suck it in a little bit, about right there. I know you can't, I know my camera's not calibrated with a torque wrench, but that's what I would do. Come back and check these periodically to see if they're tight. These I'm going to have to do with an Allen wrench. This won't work because I put them in from this side. I should have put them in from the outside. Guess I could turn them around if I wanted to, but right now it's going to work. Put the last one in there. These Terra Trike tools I ordered from Terra Trike. I got all 3 sets. Most of the bolts and Allens that fitted on this trike, all 3 tools cover most of the tools. Okay, these tabs have to be bent into the fender to hold that fender into place. So I've decided to use a pair of water pump pliers. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to do it real quick with you and see. So far, I haven't had to pull the rear tire off, so I don't know what you're talking about. This kit looks like it's made for 3 different sizes of tire, which so far, that's what I'm leading to believe. So right now, so far so good. This, I had to use the longest plastic. It came with this one and a shorter one. And then I see pictures in the instructions over there. They show it maybe on the biggest rim fitting, fender fitting directly to the frame. So I think this is 20 as I know is the smallest. So I went with the longest plastic stanchion and bolted it with the correct length of bolt. So far so good. Let's see. Okay, you can see I've wrapped some painter's tape around the bottom jaw of the pair of pliers I got. These are water pump pliers. See if this will work. So far, so good. Let's go do the other side. This is a little tricky on this side. It's hard to film and do everything at the same time. Yeah, it's a little harder. I need to push that up in there. Come on now. I almost need a different set of pliers. Come on now. I'm almost there. It's almost in. There you go. Tricky, but can be done. It's in there nice and tight. Come over here, squeeze real hard on that. There you go, those are in there. Well, folks, so far I haven't had to pull the rear tire off. I ain't lazy. A lazy mechanic is a good mechanic, but I don't know if it works yet. The gap in the front looks kind of far, and it's snug back here, but if it works, I'm going to call this good. So now I got to put the jack stand underneath the rear of the bike. Trike. I keep calling this a bike. I guess it's a bike. I need to clean my trike. It's dirty. I rode in the rain this morning, and the only thing that kept me from getting wet on my back was my Suntop, because you can see where the water came up and hit the back. If I wouldn't have had my Suntop on, all that water from my tire would have came up over and hit me in the back of the head. But I still wanted to put this fender on, so I'm going to put the jack stand underneath the rear of the trike and see how my clearance on the fender works. All right, let's put the stand underneath it. You put it in between the chain on the frame. That's how you do that. So we got to go through and check the gap. I'm using a Phillips to check to see, and then I'm turning it. So the tire is going to turn this way. Fender fits pretty well to the tire. There's not a lot of, it's not completely true. I need to get my rims trued a little bit. They're a little bit wobbly. That means I have to go in and adjust the spokes. And it really shows up when you put a fine line like that on your rim. So the stay needs to go out here. There you go. I'm gonna call that good, folks. I don't know why the charge is not in the instructions. I just don't see why you need to pull the rear tire off. I'm gonna contact Terra Trike and ask them, make sure I didn't do anything wrong. It's on there. Something about the stand I wanted to tell you guys. I wouldn't sit in this trike on the stand because there's a cable here going to the hub drive. and it's underneath the frame, and there's a cable for your derailleur right here. So if you were to sit on that, it's on the back of the frame, but it's tight in there. I don't think I would sit in here and pedal. If I were you guys, I would not do that. So if you use this type of stand that I showed you how I built, don't be sitting in the bike and putting a lot of weight on it. It's just for doing maintenance. Gently set it down. Could put some foam under there. It's not compressing, but I just want to warn you. This would be a good stand to use to clean your chain, which I need to do because I've been riding off in the rain and mud and snow and, well, not snow. Just kidding. It ain't snowing yet, but it's dirty. I rode a lot of gravel this weekend. When Pinos Altos, it was kind of gravelly paved roads. Anyway, I'm looking at it, it's kind of dirty. So anyway, just pay attention to that kind of stuff. Anyway, I hope this video helped. I'm gonna take the stand off, take a real quick ride and see how the fender holds, and then I'll let you know what I think about this install. Before I go test ride this thing, I want to, for you that watched my Suntop, this top that I installed, I told you, just an update on that I was going to sew some kind of Velcro system on here. So when I went to do that, unbeknownst to me, there was these already sewn in there right here at the bottom. Perfect. So I went down to my local Wally World and I bought this Velcro strap pre-made. You run it around the PVC pipe that I put on there, and you just trying to do this one hand, run it through, and ta-da! So if you buy the top I bought, the kayak, it has that. That's what I was talking about doing. So now the top's secured to this. So problem solved there. So let's go ahead and spin this up. Make sure looks good to me. I'm gonna get this thing off the jack and take it for a ride. There you go. Okay. Let's take this bad boy for a ride. Just a test ride. I don't have my safety gear on. I got my helmet and that's it. My gloves. Because I'm not going out for a ride. I'm just going to cruise through the neighborhood. All right. Let's take this thing out for a ride real quick. I don't have all my safety gear on. But I'm not going for a real ride. Let's turn some power on so I can talk and film. I need a charge. She's at 56%. Now that's riding all day in Pinos Altos that one day. And I went for a 10-mile ride this morning. So I bet you I've got 25 miles on one battery charge, and it's showing that I still got 56%. So you might hear that brake noise over there. I've got to adjust my caliper. It makes noise every once in a while, and I've got to do some adjustments on that. But so far, folks, the rear fender is on, and I didn't have to pull the rear tire off. So now the instructions are vague when it comes to the charge. Here's what I do know. Terra Trike makes multiple trikes using this same frame. And I'm not going to quote them because I don't remember them. But you'll have to figure that out yourself.